Sometimes that one guy punched another guy, and then they started fighting each other for like 3,000 years ago. But these two boxers are out to be revealed. Like TJ Combo, the heavyweight champion from Killer Instinct, and Little Mac, the little outmatched brawler from Punch-Out. It's time to analyze their stats, weapons, and abilities to find out who would win in a battle to the death. A long time ago, Tyler Johnson Garrett was falling in love with boxing ever since he was a little bit born, I think. And then he trained with his dad and started Junior League when he was 12 years old, where he freaking lost. But then he joined in the next year when he was 13 years old, but then he refused to have a box of quarters to stick inside with his glove and got his revenge with one savage blow. As that would make you a condition to have a headache, to be, like, cancer. The Junior League didn't exactly agree, so they kicked him out. And then he spent most of his life telling his father the truth. And he started winning to Chicago when he started growing out, just starting out a boxing league. As a janitor. But first, you still gotta start somewhere. There's gonna be a lot more to talk about. TJ spent the rest of his life training out boxing styles, and then he started usually training some moves like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, where he usually didn't notice how far it can go up. Like his hero Ali, TJ can dodge many opponents as he does. His tremor punch is usually something that can punch through the ground so hard that it can create a shockwave. His vortex punch can send an uppercut through an enemy 15 feet in the air. And his mighty power line is so hard and destructive that it can give you like a condition when it starts throwing you up. But he doesn't start off with punching. His flying knee is so destructive, and his shoot toss can carry so many enemies that he started many famous combos. And that's where he got the nickname TJ Combo. Well, if you're asking, when did you get your name J Diamond Sonic? Well, I don't know. I'll put it in the comments. On that day, TJ got lazy and started having so many money after he had that. Plus, he never usually noticed how well I could be out-trained. Plus, he started listening to some enemies like Riptora, the dinosaur from Killer Instinct, Glacius, the ice monster, and usually like almost Volgor, who usually lost against like once. But then he went into Ultra Tech, aka Walmart. And TJ started replacing his arms with the packs of cybernetic influence arms. Sometimes it never usually gained power, but it did. TJ started getting indestructible until Volgor actually returned. Until then, Ultra Tech had one word up TJ's sleeve: lose. But he didn't even listen to that. I'm like, whatever, y'all. I'm gonna just beat Volgor up until I'm going to be the heavyweight champion. But then he did. But then they found out he cheated. Again. Until he started out training on a mission with Black Fortune, and then things started to get a little sappy. And then he ripped out his metal arms with his freaking bare hands. Like an awesome dude. Or complete idiot. Well, he did take those out, but he started thawing it out that he wanted to put them back in. Somehow, he usually had some power-ups. His arm going, he's usually can outrage. If he has rage, that can usually have so many power to his soul. But for real, it's gonna be hard to take down a champion like TJ Combo. Again, a long time ago, a little teen outboxer usually started out just training for his life because he was falling in love with boxing so much that he wanted to be trained. And he did, with his doctor, Dr. Lewis. Well, he did it straight up somehow because he never usually had so many things had his sleeve. Because whenever he started training, he started going into the world circuit. And he fought bigger enemies, like Bald Bull, Hell Face Down the Bull, Soda Popinski, who usually is so indestructible when he drinks soda, Super Macho Man, who's usually stronger when he's super punched, and Mr. Sandman, the champion of the world. Well, not really. And Mike Tyson, the world's heavyweight champion. Bruh. And Mr. Dream, who usually has the same power-ups as Mike Tyson. Okay. If any of you guys played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, then you might notice that. Well, he usually made it that far. He usually faced Don Flamenco, who can send a ball up with one single uppercut punch. Well, he's usually outmatched every boxer beyond his level. Plus, he usually had the Straight League, who's usually like a super punch or something. The Joint Maker is usually like almost like somehow he's usually outraged with the Tornado Uppercut, which is an uppercut so hard it can jump through enemies 14 feet in the air. That's almost the same thing. But his slim counter is so destructive that when you get hit, you start getting outranked with a TKO. Plus, that's not how he usually outmatched this league. His Gigamag is usually so powerful, so hard, and so rough that you can fail around and get knocked out. Even your head will get uppercutted off. And you'll die to pieces. Right there, right now. Well, after that day, he started gaining the heavyweight champion. Until then, a mystery fighter came along. Mike Tyson and Mr. Dream. Well, first we're going to talk about one. They usually have the same power-ups, and then, he started getting a little bit, outmatched with those boxers. Because they were usually too powerful and too rough when they get a super uppercut and then he fades down. So then he tried real hard, trying to beat their butt as hard as they can. And he did. Then he had to outrage Donkey Kong. If you played the Wii version of Punch-Out, then he was the strongest and outrageous boxer alive. So, does he have what it takes to stop TJ? It's time to go to the fight. Catch your votes in, people, because it's time to see who would win in a battle to the death. world! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion! Oh, sorry. Well, yes, the winner is Little Mac, and here's why. Well, TJ Combo usually had the strength advantage, but Little Mac had the speed advantage for also how much. Plus, his Gigamac form really caught up to TJ. But before he had the strength advantage, he usually started cheating. You see, his Gigamac form can send enemies for an uppercut like probably like 25 feet in the air. Even if they weigh is 800 pounds like Donkey Kong, which he's facing right now. And TJ's Vortex Punch is usually strong enough to catch her up into 15 feet in the air, even if they weigh 550 pounds like Volgor. Which means Little Mac is 10 times stronger than TJ Combo. Here's where it gets trickier. TJ Combo may have replaced his usual arms to out-conclude cyborg arms, but you notice that Little Mac always usually faced the Great Tiger, who usually cheat himself for using magic powers. Which means he's usually capable to keep up with genies, cyborgs, and everything at once. Plus, TJ usually lost to Volgor, which makes him even more weaker, but doesn't face him more weaker. Plus, Little Mac is way more stronger. So for all that being said, the winner is Little Mac. Get ready for the next battle.